Jesus really did say it's harder for the rich to enter the kingdom of heaven than for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. Colossians 3 really does tell us to put to death greed. James really does warn rich people who take advantage of others. We really are told in the New Testament that the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. So we just have to be willing to just say it. We just have to be willing to say, money is powerful. Money is dangerous. Wealth is perilous. It's a lot like fire, right? Fire can be used for human flourishing. Fire can be used for many good purposes. How many of us let our 3-year-old son or grandson or nephew just play with fire by himself? Hey, go have fun. Here's some matches. Here's a lighter. Here's some gasoline. Have a ball. Because fire, it's it's so good. Well, of course not. We recognize that fire is very good. It can be used for great purposes. It warms up our home. It's cozy. We can have a campfire. We can sing Kumbaya. We can do all these great things with fire, right? But we also realize it's very, very, very dangerous. In fact, it could be fatal. It could be lethal. And wealth is a lot like that, folks. And we remember, hello, I'm talking to us. When I say wealth is dangerous, you're wealthy, I'm wealthy, we're all wealthy. We've got to start on that point. You don't feel like you're wealthy because you're not Bill Gates, but hello, you are. You're wealthy. This teaching is for us. When the Bible talks about, listen up, rich people, it's talking to us. And wealth is perilous. It's dangerous. If I'm a chemist and I'm in a laboratory and I'm putting together different ingredients that are combustible, if they're not put together in the right sequence or with the right measurements, it's probably a good idea for me to have a few other colleagues in the lab with me, double-checking my measurements, double-checking the sequence of what I'm doing, because the material that I'm handling is dangerous. It is perilous. If I'm not really familiar with firearms and I'm walking around with a gun, it's probably not a bad idea that somebody's along with me as a buddy saying, hello, got the safety on? Got the safety on? Because it's perilous. It's dangerous. If we really accept the Bible's teaching that wealth, like fire, can be used for many good things, be used for human flourishing, but is also dangerous, I think we'd be more willing to have more community, more people speaking into us about how to handle it. Okay. And thirdly, we need to admit that a lot of the sort of being very private about money is rooted in part, I think, with our embarrassment about really admitting to other people that if we're really honest, we actually are pretty anxious about money. We're scared. Many of us are trying to sort of find security in money. I know I am. Okay? We're, as believers, we're trying really hard, aren't we? At some level, we are really trying hard to believe, you can't take it all with you. At some level, we're really trying hard to believe, money doesn't buy you happiness. We're trying to believe those things, folks, but we've just got to admit to one another that at least sometimes we really are trying to find security by possessing money. The truth is that so much of our consumerism, I think, is driven by anxiety and the desire for security. Why do so many people buy SUVs? Sorry to pick on everybody that owns an SUV. Now, maybe some people buy an SUV because it's sort of a status symbol. Okay, and then there's 1 out of every 100,000 people who buys an SUV because they actually do plan to drive it off-road, in a desert or in the Grand Canyon, as opposed to just taking it down the highway down to Ukrops, But honestly, don't we buy SUVs because they make us feel safe? The roads are dangerous out there. If I'm in a big old SUV, I'm going to be safe, right? And that's just one example. One example. A lot of our consumerism is based on the fact that we want to feel secure. The world feels scary, and it is. It's a scary place. And we want to find this security. You know, a lot of the reason why we don't give away more money isn't really because we're selfish. It's not quite exactly the right thing. It's really because we're scared. Often the reason that we take that job that pays more money, deep down in our gut we know it's not really the job that God would have us take for other reasons, but we take that job because it pays more money, is because deep down we think, I just got to do that. Got to find that security. Got to make sure I have enough. Some of the time when we're saving and we're over-saving, it's because we just really aren't sure God's going to come through in the end. It's not really quite willing to trust him. I want to make sure we got a whole lot piled up because of the future's uncertainty. We just really desperately we've got to be willing to admit that this search for security kind of underlies our restless accumulation and our hoarding. So what are we going to do about that? Well, the Bible really teaches us that true security is kind of a relational thing. That where we find deep security is when we have a very wonderful, deep, rich, intimate relationship with the Lord, and where we have a wonderful support network among the body. That's where we really can find the security that we're looking for. Money keeps promising us this false security. And one of the big lessons of our economic crisis, and I think Ken was right last night to say, this crisis is sort of affording us an opportunity, is that it's just really showing how false the promise, when money makes a promise, mammon makes the promise, I'm going to make you secure. And then you watch your whole retirement just like go down the toilet in 2 days on the stock market. And money's false promise is shown up for what it is. And we get kind of smacked in the face with this reality that it really isn't where we can find our security.